This is the way that you are going to create a conditional order in the simplest way possible. So I have Apple on the screen. And let's just say that you're looking at your channel and you're like, hey, I want to do a conditional order when Apple gets to 138.49. I want to buy a call because that's when I think it's going to bounce. So what you would do is you go to your trade tab and you pick the one that you want, and you go to the call that you want, and then you just right click it and you say buy custom. You say OCO bracket as an example because you want to program your buy, and you want to program your profit taking, and you want to program your stop loss. So you go to your buy, and instead of going to the conditional order form, remember this is the one that just seems to confuse everybody. Let's just do it like right here. Right here we're going to do it. And this is how you do it. So you put your cursor in the box, and when you do that, you can see this expected Apple price. If you don't have this on your screen, you need to call TDA and say, I need an update, because I had to do that years ago because I didn't have this. I traded for 3 years without this, and it was there, but for some reason my software or whatever it was had a glitch, didn't have it. So you need to do this or have this, but you only get that when you're actually, your cursor's in the box. So when your cursor's in the box, you have it, and then you say, okay. So we looked at the chart and we said when Apple just drops down to that resistance line of 138.36 as an example. So you go to your trade tab and you say, okay, 138.36, I have my cursor in the box, and what's that option price going to be when Apple's at what did I say, 136? 141. So you start toggling the switch, and you can see right here, if you're looking, you can see the price of expected Apple price to start going down, right? So if that drives you crazy, could you not like say $2 and tab over and say, okay, we're at 141. I actually want it, it's at 141.99. So, start toggling down, hold it down, whatever. So this is an easy way that you can program. That's funny, it just kind of locked on me. There we go. You can even go inside. You can go inside and change the price, right? And then as long as your cursor is in that box, then it's controlling this expected Apple price in that box, the buy box that you're at. So now we're at 141.09, but we want to buy the call when it's at 141. So great, it's close enough. Oh, look at that, 141 exactly. And so this helps you, right, in a very simple, simple manner to identify what's the option price when Apple gets to 141. And that's where it's at, 145. So, okay, so we're done. So you're like, okay, let's program it because I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know when Apple's going to get to 141, so I'm going to put good till cancel, and I'm done with that. Locked it into place. That's all you have to do. So then you're like, well, when do I want to take profit? Well, you took profit. You want to take profit at 143 or 25% or whatever it is. So what you do is you put your cursor in your box. And because this guy all of a sudden is triggered and says everything must be the same, so that's fine. So let's just do that so that we can get on with the program. There you go. So now you put the cursor in the box and you say, okay, this is my profit taking order, the limit. Where do I want Apple to be when I take my profit? So if you had an identifier on the chart as an example, you could say, okay, well, I want Apple to be at 144. So you now start toggling up or down, and you could see it moving right here if you're not looking right here. You could see it moving, and you just hold it down if you need to, and it'll get to 144. You can adjust the price to make it to 144. We're right there. There we go. That's how simple that is. Like, you don't have to do the conditional order form and, you know, all these steps. You could just toggle right here, and you're done. Limit, good to cancel, 144, took my profit. Okay, what's your stop loss? So here we bought it at 141. Here we're going to sell at 144 with profit. So here now, because this is a call, you know, what are you willing to give? A buck, or a buck on Apple, or a buck on the option price? So think about that for a moment, right? So I want you to identify that as we're toggling and talking about Apple's price down here, this is the Apple stock price down here, and we're toggling these switches, which is Apple's option price. And you need to identify that they're two separate things, okay? So if you didn't want to deal with the option price, but you said, you know, I'm going to flip the coin and I believe that this is what's going to happen, that Apple's going to go up, and I'm willing to give $50 or $100. Well, you could do that too. You don't have to do it by a stock price. If you wanted to, then you would just toggle this like we discussed. Or you hit this little, I know they make everything so small. I think it's like a paper clip. You hit it, and then you have this box. So plus or minus is for dollars. So it says minus $1. What does that mean? Well, if the stock price, or excuse me, the option price goes down a buck, which means $100 per contract, get me out. That's your risk. $100 per contract, get me out. And that's how you do that. How about if you want it $50? Well, you just change this as an example to 50 cents, which is $50. Okay, that's how you would do that. And there's your stop. It triggers when it's minus 50 cents, which is $50. You wanted a buck, do a buck. You wanted a percentage, just toggle the switch to a percent, and now say, well, if I was to go down 30%, I'm done. I made the wrong decision. I didn't time it correctly. I didn't flip the coin correctly. It's not my deal. I need to have a stop so I can limit my losses. And this is how you would do it, in a very simple manner. Okay? So if we're going to keep with the theme of the stock price, I'm going to go to it and go right back over here. And what am I going to do? I'm going to go to a stop. I'm going to go to a stop. I'm going to go right over here to this little like medical icon. I don't even know what you call that, little star. And then I'm going to go right in here. I don't even know why it says this thing. And let's just put a buck in there and see what happens. And then because we have our cursor in here, we could look over at the expected Apple price and go, okay, we're buying at 145 because the price of the stock is going to be at 141. And we're selling with profit. We just click into the box and you can see, okay, we're selling at 144 because we're analyzing the chart. And then you go, okay, well, we bought it at 141. So if it goes to 140 as an example, and as I'm like doing this, I'm going the wrong way, or you go like this, nope, still the wrong way. So you can increase that or decrease it, whatever. Let me see where we're at. Oh, that's going to take me a little while. So 138. Oh, that is actually going backwards. Okay. So let's see, we bought it at 141. How about if we wanted this at 140? Where's that going to be? There we go. All right. Let me get it in the right direction. Hold on for just a second. So that's all you need to do is just toggle. Like, look, I'm an expert at this, and I still just need to toggle up and down, make sure I'm going the right direction. I have to check the price. I got to make sure, I'm doing the right strategy for what's happening. So 140.01, close enough, or 139.99. It's close. It prevents you from having to go into the toggle switch and do this thing that nobody wants to do. So if you're one of those people, then just know it's okay. You don't have to get into that form. You can just do it right here and then hit confirm and send. Please just make sure that you are identifying your order, because you just want to make sure that as you have a lot of multiple orders here, because this is a simple one triggers OCO, but if you had like one triggers 3 OCOs, then you got a whole line of items here with different targets, yada yada. And so you just want to make sure that it says this is to open, this is to close with profit, this is to close for the loss, and down it goes. And if it doesn't and you need to adjust it, all you got to do is go right over here, and these items right here, this is to open, this is to close, because sometimes these orders get really confusing. And I remember back in the day when they didn't have this box, I would do these. I didn't think they were confusing, but I would do these orders, and all of a sudden, I just turned some simple thing into some complicated thing, and it would say, you didn't close your order, or you actually opened up a new order because these guys didn't exist. And so you just want to make sure, as a programmer of your own orders, that you then, when you hit confirm and send, that you actually make sure that one is to open, one is to close, the other one's to close, and etc., etc. Okay? And if it doesn't look right, doesn't read right, then you come over here and you say to open, to close, whatever it's going to be. All right, well, I certainly hope I made that seem simple. That is the simplest way that you can do a conditional order without going into the conditional order form or the advanced order form.